So I mentioned my day job is Chief Security Advisor at Microsoft. So I'm going to give you a few little insights with regards to what has Microsoft been seeing over the last 6 months or so from a cybersecurity perspective. What are the key trends? What should we be thinking about? Really kind of kick-starting off today, if you like, in particular. I did give you a little bit of context. Every single day, Microsoft processes over 78 trillion telemetry signals. Now that is coming off the cloud. It's every authentication request, every email, every single time you go to LinkedIn, every single time you go to GitHub, we get a signal from that. So how do you make sense of 78 trillion signals? Well, we apply huge amounts of machine learning. We're looking at patterns in data, in essence, looking for new campaigns, new threat actors. How are they evolving? We also have 10,000 people working in security. So these are a mix of engineers, they're analysts, they're data scientists. And that, in essence, is what I'm going to be focusing in on for the next kind of 6 minutes. So keep me honest on time, guys. So let's just kind of keep things off. So probably wouldn't surprise you when we're thinking about who are the top countries being attacked right now. Now, spoiler alert, USA always comes in at number 1. Probably not going to be surprised about that. Given kind of what's been going on across the world with Israel, then it's, again, not surprising really when we think about who are the most active threat actors. The top 3 are coming from Iran. These are nation-state actors in particular. Now, the UK normally comes in 3 or 5 on that list, irrespective of kind of what's going on in the world. And that is because of our close relationship with the US and Israel and with the Five Eyes intelligence in particular. I really want to kind of focus in on that middle, that top targeted sectors, and this might be a little bit surprising to you. Now, information technologies goes off the scale, and it overrides all of the others kind of almost combined. Now, it used to be education was top of the list, and why education in particular? They're the low-hanging fruit. So if I'm trying to collect credentials, I hit all the schools, I hit the universities, and I go up the food chain, if you like. I hit retail, I hit financial services. So why is IT basically the top sector month on month over the last 6 months in particular? Well, really, it's supply chain. So in essence, why would I waste my time trying to break your network when I can go to your suppliers? So this is managed services, it's IT service providers, it's cloud service providers. And in fact, in January, we had one of the biggest nation-state actors actually break into Microsoft itself, Midnight Blizzard, who is the threat actor behind SolarWinds, one of the most persistent threat actors available right now in particular. So what is the kind of the key focus area, that kind of what we're seeing? Well, initial access is the top vector. Identity overrides everything else. What are kind of some of the things that we're seeing? So remote monitoring management tools. In essence, I'm social engineering how to gain access into your environment by pretending to be IT support. So if you utilize various tools like Quick Assist, you can actually get access onto that environment. You can launch malware into that in particular. QR codes in particular, this is not necessarily new, but again, they're finding ways of how I can entice you to use this QR code. I mean, in particular, how do I circumvent MFA in particular? Consent phishing is basically fake applications, and again, I'm trying to entice you because we all love an application, we all love to kind of download this stuff, get some free things. Now, most applications, irrespective of whether they're fake or not, when you actually consent, you are consenting to give a lot of information away. So if you just go to your application list in your mobile phone, right now, you're probably seeing that you've consented to give access to your mobile, your microphone, your pictures, maybe even your OneDrive, and various different things. And that is legitimate applications. So imagine what you've signed up to when you do a fake application in particular. And we've seen a big increase in fake job adverts, particularly through LinkedIn in particular. And again, I'm taking you to a fake website, I'm enticing you apply for this job, give me your CV, give me your information, give me your email address, all of this information that I need. And it's all about how do I get that initial access into the environment. And we're seeing a huge increase in cloud identity abuse in particular. In fact, 50% of all attacks in August were trying to gain access into the cloud environment. And one of that is because when you get into the cloud, if you've got admin, particularly global tenant admin, you have access to the crown jewels. Now, if you haven't done your privileged access management strategy properly, you'll probably find out not only can I gain access into the cloud, I can gain access into all your other services just by laterally moving between the cloud and on-prem in particular. And those threat actors really love the news of the day. There's tax season in the US in particular, and they kind of really play up to this with regards to those laws and how they're kind of enticing people to open attachments, pretending to be the government. And when you launch this attachment, it's probably, again, got malware in it in particular. And we kind of have all of these phishing as a service. Again, it's about how do I capture all of these credentials in particular. Now, just to put that into perspective, what are they doing with these credentials and the scale of what we're talking about? So Microsoft is currently blocking 350 million password sprays a day. So when we're talking about what are they doing, why they're doing it, they are trying desperately hard to get that initial access. I don't care how they get access, but that is the kind of the order of the day. And CrowdStrike incident in particular, an update that went wrong, probably could happen to all of us, right, at some point. But actually we saw multiple threat actors all impersonating CrowdStrike or actually impersonating Microsoft, basically saying, I have a fix to this problem. All you need to do is download this update, got malware in it, and that's how they gain access. Again, following that news of the day, the hyped up media is like cannon fodder for these threat actors. The more that the media kind of makes a big deal out of these things, the more they really apply to it in particular. But before we kind of kick off our next speaker, I want to share some good news. And I have a little secret crash on one of the areas in Microsoft. It's called a Digital Crimes Unit. And in essence, this is a team of lawyers all across the globe who are looking at all of these instances of where we have fake domains, fake accounts, this cybercrime as a service, if you like. And these lawyers are looking at how do I get court orders to physically take down some of this infrastructure? How do I seize control? And actually, they did this with SolarWinds. It's how it stopped. They seized control of a number of the command and control servers and made a sinkhole, so all the traffic, in essence, was coming to Microsoft, and we could reverse engineer it. Now, Storm 1152 is a Vietnamese cybercrime as a service threat actor. Their whole job is to create illicit websites. In fact, they created 750 million fraudulent Microsoft accounts. Again, just so those threat actors could use those to entice people, fake applications and various different, this made them millions of dollars. So in December last year, Microsoft actually had a court order to shut that down. Now the problem you have is a lot of these threat actors, they don't care. They already have multiple other domains set up across jurisdictions. It basically becomes a game of whack-a-mole. And so we had a second civilian action, a second court order in July this year to physically disrupt their infrastructure. Now, the interesting thing, last time, if you were here, if you were with us in London, we talked about AI, the amplification of AI. And in particular, this threat actor is utilizing those large language models to actually become more human-like, particularly with regards to capture codes in particular. So how do I bypass the MFA? How do I look like a human in essence? And that really is kind of starting us off when we kind of think the scale, the scope of what we're talking about is not getting any easier. And as they evolve, we evolve at exactly the same point.